the topics on the screen there. This is in response to a live that I already saw on TikTok here. It was in reverse. It was directed towards BLK women. So if anybody sees what I'm talking about, this was a live that was in reverse, directed towards BLK women. And I've decided to take the topics that they said and actually direct it towards them. Okay? So here we go. BLK men are responsible for the destruction of the black community. True or false? Men that have cheated should never be able to date again. True or false? BLK men cannot lead. True or false? Can BLK men be in a relationship where they don't use the woman? True or false? Once again, these are topics that I saw in reverse, directed towards BLK women, that I decided to use it, directed towards them. And what's crazy to me is that y'all reported my live on my main page because these men did not like what I said. Neither did the pygmies. So y'all only got me banned until tomorrow, so I'm not even tripping. It's just till tomorrow. I can use this page until then. But yes. So I want to talk about this. So once again, for everybody that will be upset, this live is about. This live was actually being held about BLK women. I just decided to switch the gender to BLK men so that we can have a conversation, a real conversation. So once again, BLK men. Are BLK men responsible for the destruction of the community? True or false? Do our men that have cheated, should they never be able to date again? True or false? BLK men cannot lead. True or false? Can BLK men be in a relationship where they don't use the woman? Once again, these are topics that BLK men just had about BLK women on this very app. But they reported my live on my main page about this. And it's crazy to me because it really lets you know who gets in their feelings with these lies, because all of these lies that are held where BLK men bash black women, talk about black women, call them names, see all these things to them, I very rarely ever see them be reported. Those lives go on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and nobody says nothing about it. But soon as a black woman come up and say anything, everybody got their fingers out ready to report. And I find it to be really disgusting and crazy. You can say anything about a BLK woman and nobody attack you, nobody report you, nobody say what you saying is wrong. Everybody just be like, oh yeah, that's right. Those BLK women are no good. Those BLK women, they're making they're making single parent households, and they're having all these abortions and da-da-da-da. It's crazy to me. But anyway, if we want to talk about have lives where we talk about how BLK women are responsible for the destruction of the community, I would love to have a fact-based conversation. Not your feelings, not that you're mad at your baby mom because you have to pay child support. Not that you're mad about the beautiful women that you've come across in your life that didn't want to give you any time or attention. Not the children, the young black girls that were children when they knew you in elementary, middle school, and high school, that did not talk to you because you were unattractive and that you're so mad that those girls overlooked you when they were literally children at the time. I don't want to hear about any of that. What are BLK women doing to be responsible for the destruction of the community? Scotty says, girl who hurt you. Like, I really wish that y'all would, come up with a better line. Maybe come up with a better line or something else to say other than something that is clearly without merit. Like, honestly. Did you ask the BLK men that had this live in reverse? Did you ask them who hurt them? I don't know. That's who hurt them. Oh, he dropped y'all. I didn't drop him. He dropped himself. Probably because he didn't have anything to say. That's probably what it was. I mean, any guy that is like literally bald headed in a box, like, and that's your profile picture, you probably don't have anything to say. But as I said, I really wish that when we have these topics, when you hear a BLK woman try to push against the narrative of slander of other BLK women, that y'all would stop saying who hurt you and start asking who's slandering you. Why do you feel like you have to come up here and defend BLK women? Who is doing this? Let me go to those guys' lives. Let me go to those guys' platforms and talk to them and tell them to keep BLK women's name out of their mouths. But it's so funny that y'all never do that. Y'all never, ever, ever do that. Y'all would rather try to attack or go at a woman. And that to me is like, that's also very telling. Because y'all have all of this smoke, all of this aggression, all of this energy for BLK women, but y'all never have it for white T women. Y'all never have it for non-black women. Y'all never have it for white T men. Y'all always act like y'all so powerless and y'all can't defend yourself against them and their racism. Y'all just stuck and y'all can't do anything and y'all so discriminated against and y'all so much the victims. But y'all have no problem getting bucked with a BLK woman. That's like, y'all don't think that's weak? Like, I don't understand it. Like, the fact that y'all can come up here and say so much to me, but I never see y'all nowhere where other men are, it's crazy to me. Like, honestly. Anonymous says all I see is BLK men and women beating each other. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about it. Statistically, only one of us is putting one of us in the dirt and unaliving us at high rates. Do you know who that is? I think you can take a guess. So I think you might want to take each other out of it. All right? Statistically. All right? Because I'm not going to talk about your feelings or what you saw, at your ghetto mama's house. All right? Anyway, I would love to see any BLK men that want to come in my lives and say something. How come I never see y'all in any of these men's lives? I never see y'all there. I never see y'all there talking to them. Okay, you have something to say, Anonymous? Go ahead.
First of all, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to be very respectful, right? What I put in the comments, if you would have read like a little bit further up, I was saying in TikTok, I said all I see is black men and black women beating on each other in on TikTok about issues about these prompts. It's like that everyone is using the same prompts, but I don't see no one saying what is the solution to our issues that we have. It's either black men bashing black women or it's black women bashing black men. No one's talking about the black men and black women that are actually loving each other. Now, if it doesn't apply, then let it fly. My thing is, it doesn't apply to me, but it's very, how can I say this? It's very painful to see all of these prompts talking about each other, and that's all I was basing off of.
Okay. Well, let me say this. I don't really care about men. And men are men and men can handle their own business. So my whole motivation is for women and more specifically BLK women. So today I saw a live with these exact same prompts directed towards BLK women. So I decided to do a live in response to it to show how stupid and idiotic these type of prompts are, and how if you actually want to look at things from a fact-based perspective, that all of these things would point to way more easily towards the BLK man than the BLK woman. So that's my thing, is that you can talk about that you see both, but when there's reactions happening, there's always a cause and there's always an effect. So right now, what you're seeing is an effect of what has been happening with BLK men on social media all of this time, because only one side of the equation has a history of unaliving, abusing, ex trafficking, abandoning one group over the other. And even though that may be hard to hear, it's the truth. And it may not be you, but it's definitely a problem in the Black community. So that's why I'm talking about it. And when we talk about solutions, men don't listen to women. And definitely BOK men don't listen to BOK women about nothing. Nathaniel. So my only solution would be is to bring awareness and hope that the men that you say it doesn't apply to listen to the words that I say and take it back to other BOK men and help them out. Because me saying it is not going to work. Yeah, I'm not going to help anybody. The only thing I can do is tell women what's going on. Tell them, hey, the things that you hear, don't believe it. It's not true. It's rooted in ignorance and miseducation. And don't choose these men. If these men show any of these type of signs, leave. That's the only thing that I can do to work towards a solution. What do you
Right.
think you can do?
I agree with you. You know what I mean? Everyone's responsible for their part. You know what I mean? I definitely agree.
So that's really all I'm saying. Yeah, that's really it. So that's the purpose of the live today.
Yeah, you
Um,
know, so what I think is that, it's very crucial and critical for, black women to educate other black, women. Just like I believe that the good black men should be educating, other black men that's not even thinking on this level, So I definitely agree with you. I mean, if, like I said, you gotta keep on teaching those who need to be taught, then do so. I'm not knocking what you're doing. I was just saying, like, about TikTok. That's all I was saying. I wasn't like getting on it or nothing like that.
I appreciate you. I understand. I mean, it is a lot going on. It is. I understand what you're saying. All right. I appreciate you for coming up, Anonymous.
No problem at all.
All right. You have a great day.
You too, love.
All right.
Bye bye.
All right, you guys. So today, like I said, well, I would like us to talk about this. I think that if when we see prompts that are like extremely shocking or we know that they are inaccurate, I think the best way to fight against the misinformation and the miseducation is to actually hit back with facts, because that's the only thing that you're ever going to that's the only way you're ever going to get things straight. And sometimes, even if you come back at somebody with facts, they may still choose not to accept it. But that's the best way of attack that you can do. Like, and that's the best way that you can do it. So, when you talk about the destruction of the community, think about to yourself, what is exactly destroying the BLK community? What is it, right? So, main things that's destroying the black community: narcotics, right? The sale of it, the distribution of it, people being on it, ruining the BLK community, right? That's one side. What else is ruining the BLK community? Ex trafficking, young girls, and even sometimes young boys being preyed upon, being sold to the highest bidder, being forced to do things that they don't want to do. That causes crime in the neighborhood, that causes unsavory people to come in the community, and everything like that. So that's number two, ex trafficking. These are in no particular order. Number three, unalivings. Unalivings is a huge part of the problem in the BLK community, right? The unalivings of BLK women, aka black femicide. Black women are the most unalived demographic of women in the United States. They make up 10% of the female population, yet 59 to 60% of all unalivings of women. And over 90% of the time, it is by a BLK man. So that is a problem in the community as well, unalivings. Then we talk about the unalivings of black men. Contrary to what people say, crime, white people commit the majority of crime. However, when it comes to, I don't know what word I could use, unalivings of men against men crimes, the ratio is skewed with black men doing it more often. If you look at it, I guess like a per capita way of black men, BLK men. So that is a problem in the community as well, with BLK men not only unaliving the women in their community, the children in their community, but also each other. That is the main problem. So what do we talk about? We talked about hard candy, narcotics being sold. We talked about ex trafficking. We talked about unalivings. Those are three major problems in the BLK community. Number four, the abandoning of children. The men that walk away from their children, or the men that are just out here trying to have intercourse with anybody. They don't care if they use protection or not. They're impregnating women that they don't like, they don't want to be with, so they walk away. The lack of presence of the black father. It's not the black mother's fault. It's not about choosing better, because if men were better as a whole, women would have a lot more to choose from. So we can talk about that. That's a problem in the black community. Also, crime in general. We all know that crime in general is committed by men of all races, right? Now, white people commit the majority of all crimes, contrary to popular belief. But if we're talking about in the BLK community, then we can talk about carjackings, robberies, stick ups, any of those things, right? Are also the majority is committed by BLK men. These are all issues within the community that are causing real effects in real time. How can we fix that? How can we get that together? How can we have a solution on that? I don't think that it is the idea or the responsibility of the BLK woman to fix those things, but those are the real problems in the community. Don't let anyone tell you that abortion rates is the reason why the BLK community is in shambles. It is not. Whether you agree with abortion or whether you don't, you must acknowledge that that is not what is causing the BLK community to be in ruins right now. It is not. Number two, people like to tell black women, oh, you guys are doing this. We don't talk about the many times that men have suggested abortion as an option, or pushed the woman into doing it, or even encouraged her to do it, or he didn't care, he wasn't there. Or when we talk about the demonization of single BLK mothers, how you have all of these men saying, I would never take care of a child that wasn't mine. That's a simp. You take care of another man's child, you a simp, you a punk. Why would you do that? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then saying, hey, this single mother, you're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of having a man. Nobody will want you. You're for single recreational use only. All of these type of things, that all helps and pushes forward women not wanting to be mothers, which also pushes forward abortion rates. So once again, that is also something that is directly connected to the way the BLK man treats the BLK woman. So when you talk about these things and you look at it from a fact-based perspective, please understand that BLK women are not responsible for the destruction of the community. And anytime you hear BLK men say that, they are simply pushing it off as and onto women. Let's see here. David, what's your name? Sean says y'all shouldn't be mothers. Look at the kids. You know what? Your mother definitely shouldn't have had you. That's for sure. Look at you. You're smited by God, which is why you're bald headed and don't have a lick of hair on your head. So take that advice for yourself. Go ahead, Afro lady.
Hey Trigger, how you doing, girl?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I was saying I'm like, this is my thing. They love to talk as if only a mother can produce a child. It's both the man and the woman that produces a child. So I get so sick and tired of people trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's the woman's fault. Like, why are we acting like it's not two parents that create a child? That's what really pisses me off. But yeah, no, black men are definitely the issue. They don't care. The thing is that they wanna absolve themselves of the blame. And we're not falling for it. And I'm glad that black women are catching on to that. Now we are realizing that no, y'all are the issue in the community. Okay. Because other groups of men, they're doing what they're supposed to do for their women and children. At the end of the day, they're not going to make excuses as to why they can't fix these things. Okay. But that is what black men are doing. They're making excuses and they're trying to make it seem like it's us. Other groups of men do not do this. They do not blame their issues on their women. They do not. Okay, so I'm very confused as to why they're trying to make it seem like they don't know why the community is in shambles. It's because of y'all. If y'all are supposed to be the leaders, then you're supposed to lead
I'm
properly.
sorry,
Y'all are not.
Afro lady. Just 1 second. I got a violation, you guys, for harassment and bullying. So if you guys could please like the live, because there are people that are really hateful that
Yeah,
want to block the live. So please tap the like button, please. Okay, go ahead,
yeah.
Afro lady.
But yeah, it's just at the end of the day, they don't care. And that's another thing that they don't want to be honest about. They don't care about black women and children. And I don't know why they just don't want to be honest about that. You don't want to protect. You don't want to do it. You don't want to go out there and protect and build and stuff like that for the black youth. You don't want to do that. But if y'all just be honest about that and just say that, just say it. Just say that's how you really feel. But that's all I gotta say.
Okay, all right, sis. All right, let me go down here to TF. Let's send you a request to turn your mic on. Maybe you can't because you mentioned something about this is all you see on your feed, this type of thing. Well, this is what I saw on my feed. And so I just did it reverse. All of these things were said about be okay women. So what are we talking about? Are you there or not, TF? Okay, let me go ahead and drop you. Okay.
Yeah, he was too scared because this see when it comes to logic, they don't have anything to say. That's why he's not saying it. That's why he didn't want to say anything. Um,
Yeah, I blocked him too, girl. He's
yeah.
gone. He's blocked and dropped because I don't got no time for the games. And y'all like reporting it live, like y'all should literally be ashamed of yourself because y'all sit there and y'all participate in these lives where they destroy and degrade black women all day
Right.
24/7. And then as soon as y'all hear something that y'all don't like, y'all want to report me, even though I said nothing but things that are actually rooted in fact.
Right, exactly. What you're saying is true. Yeah. See, they'll come on here and they'll talk down on black women all day, but as soon as you're like, well, what are black men doing? Do black men have power as a collective? What ownership do y'all have in America? Like, what are y'all doing? Then they get upset. Then they want to report. Yeah, that's how they do. This is how weak men do. They're just weak. They're weak.
So I just wanted to say, my thing is that if you, this is another point that I wanted to say, if you look at it from and like I said, you guys have got to get out of your feelings. If you look at this from a logical perspective, if everything is going to pot because of be okay women, then wouldn't that mean that they're the leaders of the community? But isn't that what y'all say that y'all are? It's like a multiple, it's so many different things that prove that y'all have a real issue. Y'all are not the leaders that you say that you are. Because number one, if you're a leader, like you're a CEO of a corporation, even if you're like a team leader, whatever, or a manager, if things are going wrong, it's the person normally that's in control takes a responsibility for the way things are. They say, hey, you know what? You're the boss of these people. You're supposed to be having them do this, that, and the third, and da 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 da, right? So if you can't have the black community function properly, but you want to be looked at as a leader, that means there needs to be new leadership or your leadership is piss poor, right? Or if you want to look at it as far as black women are in the lead, why are they in the lead? Why are they the leaders? That means you're also not a leader. So either way you want to look at it, there's something lacking in the leadership supposedly of BLK men. And that's just if you want to go with the whole idea that they're supposed to be the leaders, which I don't believe, you know, because if that was the case, then things would be okay. And people love to talk about the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and all of these different areas and say that that's when the black community was the healthiest, but it wasn't healthy then either if you do a little bit of research. But the majority of the time, you know, there is none. There is no research being done. You know, there literally is no research being done at all. And that's why you guys are in the dark as opposed to knowing exactly what truly the state was of the BLK community in many stages of life. And Scrooge McJamrock says that there are literally as many. So is it just BLK women cheating? What? And what are you talking about? Like, this was in reverse, as I said before. And I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about men. And if you want to talk about women, there are so many different places that you can go to and talk about that, you know? Anyway, I'm really starting to really believe, and I said this earlier, that the majority of the things that are said about women, as far as on a negative, on as far as the negative side, is really, really projection. It's really projection. Like you're projecting how you feel about yourself, what you think about yourself, and what you know to be true about yourself onto BLK women. And that to me is a very disturbing and scary thing that you, instead of trying to do the work to improve yourself and to be a better man, you would rather try to put all of the issues and all of your behavior onto the women in your community. Even though literally you wouldn't be alive to type any of the things that you're typing without a BOK woman's womb and her choosing to birth you. You wouldn't even be able to be here and exist. That doesn't make any sense. The last live that I was on that got shut down, I literally said that you talk about BOK women not being married and put that on them when men literally are the ones that are in control of who they want to marry and who they don't. Which doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes literally no sense. And West Daisy, I definitely think that is definitely the case, that they want the title of leader, but none of the responsibilities, for sure. And that's a problem because you don't get to go. It's just the same way of how you saw so many men on TikTok. I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was this girl that went viral for giving her credit card to her dude under the table so that he could pay. You know what I'm saying? And look like he was the man, even though he ain't have no money. It's just like that. You want to take the credit of being the provider and the protector while not doing any of the sort, or not doing anything of the sort. And once again, those are major problems. And then it's like anytime a BOK woman tries to talk about her experience and that she's experienced this, that, and the third at the hands of a BOK man, it's always you chose wrong, or it's always, oh no, that didn't happen, or et cetera, et cetera. But if that is the case, why do the majority of these BOK women that you come across have some of the same experiences? Why are they all telling you this? That's something I feel like is something that really needs to be talked about. But y'all don't talk about it. Yeah. Also, I wanted to talk about, and I said it here, but like I said, this was just a response to the live that I saw. Men that have cheated should never be able to date again. Ever. Like, these are the type of things that y'all say just to bring up regarding BLK women. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, honestly, like, I really don't understand it. I don't understand it. For the life of me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, anyway, I issue a challenge to anyone. If y'all can tell me what BLK women are doing that is destroying the Black community, what are they doing as a whole that is causing real and true destruction in the BLK community without mentioning abortion? Please tell me. Because all of the things that I just mentioned that BLK men are participators in are actually really, really destroying the BLK community. Oh, and I forgot to mention the introduction of a genre of music that not only degraded the women in the community, but it also sent countless young Black boys and young Black men to prison by thinking that by glorifying a lifestyle that was not only harmful, but it only led to two places: the grave or the penitentiary. Why do we never talk about that? That also has caused countless destruction in the BLK community. It is the reason why you have people talking about YNs this, YNs that, YNs this, YNs that. Where do you think they learned that type of behavior and type of mentality and philosophy from? Rap music, for sure. For sure, that's where that came from. The whole idea that you make me mad, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the dirt. You make me mad, I'm going to go ahead and pull the blick out on you. All of these type of things that you see constantly mirrored in the youth, young Black men. And the fact that so many men pretend that they don't see it, I just don't know what to say. And that's why I say, like, if you're a BLK woman and you know you are single and you are looking to date somebody, If my live is freezing, like Finay says, you guys have got to tap the live screen because somebody's probably reporting. So y'all gotta get the likes up to 20K. Yeah, y'all gotta get the likes to 20K because that's what they do. Y'all have to get the likes to 20K because it'll keep doing that because these weirdos in here reporting. You know?
And
But
triggered.
oh, go ahead.
Can I say this too real quick, and then I'm gonna get off and let somebody else. And then also I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, have you heard of that Ibrahim, the Ibrahim guy? He's over there in Burkina Faso. He's the president. Have you heard of him?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but he's like, I think he's the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim. But he's trying to pretty much do right by his people over there in his country. And you have a Black American general by the name of Michael Langley who's trying to stop him. He's trying to stop him. So I'm also trying to figure out why Black men aren't talking about that. They're not discussing as to why you have a Black American man stopping another Black man from doing what he's supposed to do for his people. See, they're not going to actually talk about the issues because I'm like, why are we? Is anybody going to talk about this? But y'all are busy talking about Black women and these stupid attitudes and all this stuff. Why are y'all not talking about the real issues here? Because at the end of the day, y'all should be wondering why throughout history, Black men have been traitors. Why are y'all going against each other? Because they don't have respect for each other either. They're not protecting each other as a group of men. That's another thing too. So why are y'all not talking about that? But that's all I have to say. I'm gonna leave it off with a question. Thank you, girl. You have a good one.
No problem, Afro Lady. I appreciate you and I appreciate you saying it up here. Because I didn't know that. That's a good question that Afro Lady posed. And yeah, I mean, I don't have the answers, but maybe one of y'all have the answers, but I don't. But that is definitely problematic there. And you know, people, as much as people would like to say that BLK women don't stick together and they don't like each other and all of these type of things, BLK women stick together more than anybody else does. You know what I'm saying? Now, you may have the pick-me's that be over there on a one side of pick-meism, and then the regular, normal, intellectually on point BLK women that aren't with that. But definitely BLK women stick together for the most part. They do. And if you want to compare them to everybody else, and definitely more than everybody else does, for sure. So, exactly, Finay talking about the 92%, you know, so my thing is that maybe people would need to focus on the real issues at hand as opposed to all of this BS and Black women and their weaves and lashes and nails and having children and all these things that are really not causing the true issues in the BLK community. But as I said before, I don't know. No one ever talks about it. No one ever talks about these things. And if you attempt to talk about these things, people will report you. People will threaten your life. People will try to silence you, get you shut down, all of that. Because they simply don't want to hear the truth. And it's like, you say you want facts. You say you don't want nobody to be in their feelings. You say you want them to be logical. You say that, but when somebody gives you that, then you don't want that. Then you really don't want that. And that to me is very, very strange. Very strange. Either you want it or you don't. But anyway, I think that the more we have real conversations about the leadership factor of the average BOK male, because I'm not talking about every BOK man, of course. There are some BOK men that can lead, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the collective. I think that we have to have a real honest conversation about if it is even possible for the collective of BOK men to lead. I don't believe it's possible. Now, y'all can let me know if y'all think it's possible, and if you do or you don't, what you think will have to occur for it to be possible. But yeah. And I also want to talk about the fact that there are so many BLK women right now in relationships with BLK men. and they are being used. They are being used for their labor. They're being used for their time. They're being used for their money. And the men are not pouring anything back into them. They won't even give them a marriage certificate that they want. They won't even marry them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something else to talk about, because there are a lot of women that have been, I don't know if I want to use the word disenfranchised, but maybe disenfranchised by BOK men. Just like Gianna V says, that a lot of BOK women have been used and abused spiritually, emotionally, financially, and left with nothing but pain. And then nowhere to put that pain. Just had to swallow it and accept it and keep on pushing. Because anytime a black woman tries to speak about her pain or her experiences, especially to people in the black community, and it could be black women too that also dismiss it, she is dismissed. Oh, it's not his fault. It's your fault. Because why you choose him in the first place? In what world is that a smart thing to tell someone? If this person did that to me, the only person that should be being shamed is the person that did the action of wrong to someone, not the person that decided to trust them and choose them. Let's see here. Alenta, real estate goddess, says, but why marry a man that's not pouring into you? I get what you're saying. And I've talked about that before. There are some women that see red flags right in front of their face and they choose to move forward with the relationship ahead first. Absolutely. But even in there, why is the person that married somebody that's not pouring into them getting more shame than the person who did it? That's the problem. You get what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's only rooted in shaming and degrading the BOK woman. If you get what I mean, Atlanta real estate goddess, if you're still here anyway. Let's see here what y'all saying in the comments. Fanay says gaslighting BWs 101. If you were only more loyal, they wouldn't have left. 200 Maya says community improvement should be a group project, but patriarchy takes priority, unfortunately. Absolutely. Let's see here. Common NC Rough Rider says the collective could lead, but they would have to put ego aside and allow BWs to lead side by side. But yeah, I do. I understand what you're saying too, Atlanta real estate goddess. I've said things like that before, like in videos and stuff on my YouTube. So I'm not gonna be like a hypocrite and tell you like you're bugging out for saying that, because I get your point as well. You know, it's kind of like when you see the women that, because I get your point as well. You know, it's kind of like when you see the women that be on like somewhere like Love After Lockup, right? And they going after these jailbird, degenerate BOK men that don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And then when the men start acting brand new or disrespecting them, the women are acting flabbergasted. Like, well, you know. So yeah, I understand what you mean. However, I do think that sometimes, not saying with you, of course, but sometimes people do say that though to just throw off the blame and just strictly put it onto the black woman. And that's what I'm not cool with, because at the end of the day, there will be way more, better men or options for women to choose better with if more men were tasked with the responsibility of being better men. If people were harder on men that did things that were wrong instead of trying to put it on women. You know what I'm saying? Because if everybody shamed men the way they shame black women for being mistreated, there will be way more decent men in the world. You know? And West Daisy says, I hate that the majority of black women experiences with black men are not good. Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I've been doing this thing as far as, trying to uplift black women, social media, talking to thousands and thousands of black women for years now. And even black women that are in a good, like they may have a quote unquote good black man or whatever, they all have had terrible experiences with many black men before that, or their dad or their brothers or previous men or whatever. That is indeed the case. And it's a lot. And I would say it's the majority. I would say out of the thousands and thousands of women that I've talked to, I would say 90%. 90 to 95% have had a bad experience. There's been a couple black women that have come up, I would say like 5% that say, hey, I've never had any bad experiences with BOK men. Like all the BOK men I know are great. My dad, my man, my sons, whatever, but it is a small minority of women that have that experience. And like I said, even if you have a decent man, you've run across one that I've talked to women like that as well, that their other previous experiences have been, not the greatest. And that's something that I honestly feel like it's a dirty secret in the BLK community, because when you ask BLK men about their experiences with black women, like, what happened to you? What is your trauma? The majority of the time they'll tell you like, hey, I had this baby by this woman and I didn't want to be with her no more. So she put me on child support. She manipulated me. She didn't manipulate you, sir, unless you were a minor. Other than that, you weren't manipulated. If you were responsible with your seed, you wouldn't have impregnated her. Why would you impregnate a woman that you don't want to be with, and definitely that you don't want to pay a child for? Like, you know what I'm saying? That. Or they'll say like, hey, when I was in high school, the girls that I wanted didn't want me. They were going out with candy dealers and getting picked up by them. And I'm like, sir, do you know that if a girl is 15 and she's getting picked up by a 26, 27, 28-year-old man, she's getting manipulated and taken advantage of? Like, that's actually predatory. Like, that's not something that you should bring up. Those are children. Yes, the wireless woman also, when they'll say like a woman no longer wants the man to stay because he's mooching off her and he's using a kid all of those things. I normally hear all of those things. Yes, Chandra. Also Chandra Graham, who said, or she left his abuse. 200 Maya says, my first negative experience with BM was my father, and he was married to my mom for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? All of that. All of that. All of that. And that's what I mean. And I just feel like no one ever talks about any of these things. It's like I said, it's like a dirty little secret. Nobody talks about it. You never hear, for the most part, like when BLK men talk about their experiences and why they don't like black women. Oh, I feel like she was too masculine. She was trying to tell me what to do. She was trying to make me be better. And that's not what I want to do. I'm with these other women because they don't require nothing out of me, or they pay all the bills, or they go to work, or they let me do whatever I want to do and don't say nothing. You don't hear, oh, you know what, I've been ex-trafficked, I've been beat, I've been raped, I've been abused, I've been this, that, and the third. You never hear that. And I wish that people would be honest. And I think that it's so many times that people let their hatred for BLK women actually stop them from being able to think rationally. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. Cookie says they want to sit on the game all day. It's weird, like you're a grown man. Like I said, all of these things, I just hope that there are people that end up hearing this live that will understand where I'm coming from. Because it's so crazy that, like I said earlier, that y'all want to report, like y'all reported my main page or whatever, but it ain't no big deal because I'm only blocked till tomorrow morning. But y'all want to report my live, ban my live, report it, say it's harassment and bullying, because I'm simply saying what BLK men have said about black women. That's wild to me. That's wild to me that y'all want to dish it, but y'all can't take it. It's very, very upsetting to me. And that is really, honestly, I think that's just really indicative of the culture that we're in. That there's no even iota of respect for BLK women, but we are still expected to have some type of respect for the men in our community. That's a problem to me. It's the same way that somebody like, what's that guy's name? The black guy that got unalived by his white tea baby mama or whatever. And he has said all of these bad, horrible things about BLK women on Twitter, on Facebook, on social media. And they were asking for BOK women to speak up and mention his man's name and make noise for him. For what? You expect something that that man wasn't even willing to do. It's not that guy, but it's another one, wireless woman. But him too. Him too. I think his name was Tevin something, or Tevin Osborne or something like that. But I think that that's just indicative of the problems in the community, right? Because the Tevin Osborne, his brother got on Facebook or whatever, Telvin Osborne, I think, got on Facebook, and said, oh, black women, you know what I'm saying, are so terrible. And so this and that. No, but I wouldn't like y'all either. Y'all nappy headed and this and that. And then turn around and give a fake apology and still ask BLK women for their help. You get what I'm saying? That to me is so crazy and so wild that even within the midst of disrespect, BLK women are still expected to bow down and still expected to pour into. Simple. Also, like with the whole Shannon Sharp thing. Shannon Sharp laughed when a white T man told him that he didn't protect BLK women. He thought it was a key. But now all of these BLK men talking about black women shouldn't turn their backs on Shannon Sharp. Yes, the heck we should. Yes, the heck we should. You don't support BLK women? You don't respect BLK women? Then you're on your own. Ask the women that you put on a pedestal to speak up for you. Oops, but they never will. They never will because they don't care. They never will. You never see a whole lot of white T women talking about none of these BLK men that get themselves into trouble. You didn't hear white T women talking about Christian Obumsele, I think that's his name, and Telvin Osborne, the guy like we were just talking about Tailbo Racks on Twitter. We didn't hear them talking about them doing no think pieces on them. No. You don't see a whole bunch of white T women talking about Diddy and talking about Shannon Sharp and how they need to rally up for them. No, because they don't care. Because once you are no longer of use to them, then you can kick rocks. If they can't get no money out of you, they're not trying to entertain you or talk to you. And and it's crazy because it's like, I feel like BLK men know that, but then want to turn around once they get to rock bottom, they want to turn around and get some help from a BLK woman. Shout out to Jonathan Majors, who's a perfect example of that. When he was at the top of his game, everybody saying that he gonna be an Oscar winner, this, that, and the third. The Snow Bunnies were the only thing that were good enough for him. That's it. But then when you get disgraced, nobody wants to talk to you no more. Nobody wants to hire you. Nobody's looking at you. Everybody's talking about you, saying that you're a criminal. Now you want to find a BLK woman. Now all of a sudden you looking for a black queen. Stupidity. Gross. And yet and still, BLK women still allow themselves to be used in this way every day. I feel like this is that, now people think that I hate BLK men, and I do not. I do feel like there's a problem with the collective, but I do know that there are some decent BLK men around, in a smaller percentage, but around nonetheless. My opinion is this: if you're a black woman and you're interested in a BLK man, if a BLK man is talking to white T women or a non-black woman, don't do it. It's a dub. Leave him alone. There's something mentally wrong with him. And I don't care what nobody say. I mean that wholeheartedly. There's something wrong with them mentally. Period. Because BLK men that date out are 99% of the time going to have self-hatred issues. Internalized tap dancing, sambo activity. And for y'all, before y'all even say anything, no, this does not apply the same to BLK women. You see the fruits of what happened when they procreate with a non-black person versus the self-hatred that the majority of biracial children that come from BLK men have. And that's just the facts. So if you're a black woman and you do want a black man, you need to highly vet him and see what's going on and see his mentality. But anyway, like I said, I didn't plan on really talking about this too long. I thought I was gonna be able to get some people up here, but it's probably just because my other live was shut down. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, you guys, because I know y'all don't want to hear me bump my gums all the time. Because I be making videos on YouTube, so if I was gonna do all that, I could have just made this into a video, you know. So I'm glad that I said that though, because people talk about, oh, you hate BOK men, you hate men. No, I love women. I love black women specifically. And the thing about it is that y'all take that anybody that is attempting to uplift the black woman automatically hates you. And that's not true. You think that anyone that tries to protect the black woman hates everybody else. That's not hatred. Me telling black women to watch out for men that seek to take advantage of them and okey doke them, that's not hatred of anybody. Me telling men, hey, don't talk about us like that, because I can easily talk about you in the same way, except what I say will be factual. That's not hatred. That's me telling you the truth. And it's really just that simple, man. It really is. Exactly. My whole thing is rooted in protection of the black woman, period. Because black women can be taken advantage by any race of man or any person in general. And my whole goal is to help black women be the best that they can be and not to have anybody taking advantage of them. You know? But anyway, y'all, I'm going to see y'all later. If y'all like what y'all heard in this live, y'all can go click on my profile. I have a YouTube channel. All you have to do is click on the link and it'll take you right to my YouTube channel and you can check out my channel. I do upload a video every day at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks so much, Cookie. If you're a black woman, and thank you so much for subscribing, Lovely Lane. If you are a black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know that you are amazing. You are awesome. You are special. You are valuable. You are powerful. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. What did Cat Williams say? The liar knows the lie that he told. You know what I'm saying? You are powerful for sure. And that's the reason why everybody seeks to beat us down, so that we don't realize that power, so that we don't succeed and soar over everybody. As long as they keep you thinking that you ain't no good and you don't deserve nothing and you ugly and you unlovable and you this, that, and the third, they can continue siphoning your power and your energy from you. But the minute you recognize and realize and walk within your queenhood, okay, then realize and walk within your queenhood, okay, then the world is yours. The sky's the limit. You can do and get anything that you have in your wildest dreams. You can do and get anything that you have in your wildest dreams. So that's all I want to say. I love you, black woman. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will love you until the day that I no longer breathe. All right. I'll see y'all later. Have a great Sunday.